back there in the video department, helping out today. Cavaliers will play tomorrow night. They lost in Memphis to the Grizzlies last night by 1 point. They will host the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night, and then Saturday the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be in town. Giannis is active these days?
He didn't play on Martin Luther King. No, when did they play? Saturday. He didn't play last Saturday, so I'm not sure if he's resting or what's going on with that.
All right, well, we'll find out on Saturday. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, tell me where. Whether it's the far-flung reaches of Ohio. I heard from Courtney, who listens in Diamond, Ohio, wherever the hell that is. We have a handful of bureau chiefs in Alaska. We have Cole, who's a FedEx driver in Juneau. We have Andrew, who listens in Cooper Landing, Alaska. And we have a couple of bureau chiefs in Anchorage. And I mention it because Alaska has had their first fatal polar bear mauling in 30 years. A woman and her 1-year-old son were killed by a polar bear in Nowheresville, Alaska, just in the middle of nowhere. And I wonder if that has anything to do with climate change or the weather changing enough over time where these animals are not as, I don't want to say docile, as I think polar bears usually are, but they're not as...
I thought that polar bears were one of the more aggressive bears.
Are they?
I think they are.
I think with these people...
It's all that Coca-Cola.
Well, the people here in this town said that usually that doesn't happen, that usually you don't have to worry about it. But I guess somebody had seen a polar bear and it looked like it was agitated. And so there were a bunch of people that were trying to get in a school so that because the polar bear looked like it was trying to get into school or whatever, so they get inside. But this woman and her child, her 1-year-old son, were between two buildings and couldn't get in time.
Oh, no. And
they both got a 24-year-old girl and her 1-year-old son.
That's...
From a town called St. Michael, Alaska. This is their first fatal polar bear attack in 30 years.
My case better be careful traveling out there.
Well, they're probably not going to be in the tundra. This is like an indigenous community.
I don't know.
They're probably not. They're probably going to stick to the cities, right? Where they get posted up.
Probably the busiest city. Like, is it?
There's Juneau. There's Anchorage.
Anchorage, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever the capital is, but these guys, you don't know these gays. Like because they're there. Let's just take a week off and just explore the entire state of Alaska.
Well, that would take more than a week. Alaska is
it's huge,
gigantic.
Yeah, but I don't think there's that many cities there. A lot of it.
Yeah, but even just traveling from city to city.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's so far.
What is the capital of Alaska?
Juneau.
He nailed it.
Remember, we did the state capital test, and he did real well.
I had to do the song. I had to sing the song in my head.
What was the original capital of Alaska?
Anchorage? That's only the city I know. Oh, wait, no. What's the other? Oh, there's another city that I know. What was it?
There's another city that you know. What is it? I don't know.
No. What was the capital?
I mean, you won't get it. None of us would get it. The original capital of Alaska was a town called Sitka.
Oh, God, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's not what I was thinking
Once the
about.
fur trade died off, they moved it to Juneau.
I just think it's funny that the people that live in Alaska, they're like, yeah, I just live in Alaska, no big deal. I'm like, no, you live so remote from everything. Like
but people like that. Some people love that.
I know, but it doesn't. Even if you live in Hawaii, like it doesn't feel like you're in the U.S. And I don't understand how that would be normal to people.
Well, I mean, you're not in the contiguous United States, but you are a state.
I was thinking Fairbanks was the other capital.
Well, that's not a bad guess.
That is a city.
Because I was usually the capitals, and not in all states, but most capitals are near the center of the state, and Fairbanks is almost near the center.
Well, I was going to say, like, Anchorage is on the water. Yeah, Fairbanks is right in the middle.
I think people got sick of how big Alaska was. They're like, we're not going to make people go all the way up to the middle of the state. Like, just put it near the continental U.S.
Well, I think there's an Air Force base in Fairbanks, so it's probably largely a military town.
Probably.
I would think. But I've never been to Alaska. I have friends that took their kids on a cruise because their mom grew up there part of her life. But I mean, it's never even occurred to me to go to Alaska. People are like, oh, we're going to go on a cruise. We're going to go look at whales. Okay, cool. Not Juneau is probably the closest city to the contiguous United States.
Everyone owns a boat just because that's where they have to go to the grocery store. Like, all right, we're just going to
Let's take a boat or they drive.
They don't. They take a grocery store to another part of the island.
They take a grocery store to another part of the island.
They take a boat to
right.
the other
They
side
go
of
out to the Aleutian Islands. I mean, you need a boat for that. It's not like the Florida Keys where you could drive, all the way through. You wouldn't need a boat if you're trying to get out to...
I think Juneau's just like when I was in Charleston. It's made up of a bunch of islands. Is that incorrect?
What, Juneau?
Yeah.
Well, Alaska, the south of Alaska, tapers off into the Aleutian Islands. So it's like a series of increasingly smaller islands. Yeah, it looks like a long kind of tail on Alaska. So if you're talking about those people, yeah. And Juneau, yeah, it kind of looks like how Seattle does with Puget Sound there. There's like, but
there's no skyscrapers. It's not a real.
Surely you've heard of Nome, Alaska, Nome?
No.
You've never heard of Nome, Alaska? I mean, that's another city you could have named, and people would have recognized it.
I don't know Nome, Alaska.
Huh.
I think I'd never have a big, expensive bridge, but no skyscrapers.
We should...
He's so obsessed with skyscrapers.
He really is.
It's not a real city.
Because to him...
How is it not a real city?
Because we don't have skyscrapers here. What are you talking
we do.
about?
We have 3.
No, we
Give us
don't.
our 3.
Stop.
We have 3.
Stop.
I can name
Cleveland's
them.
a real city. Doesn't have skyscrapers.
We have big buildings. Like,
Yes,
how you going to be a capital and you ain't got a big building? You ain't got one bank there. No one's doing exports out of your city. Like, nothing. How your downtown, there's people just living on the main strip. You just got a house there and it's fenced in.
We gotta send him to Alaska.
Broke down car in your driveway in middle downtown.
We're gonna sell this to like the Discovery Channel or something. Right?
Poundcake abroad.
Poundcake abroad.
But he's not even in a different country.
Right. He's still in the United States. He never wanted to do it.
Poundcake's America.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, even if ain't nobody in there, you gotta have something. Like, Cleveland builds a bunch of condos that nobody lives in. Why can't Alaska? Think of all the scenic views.
Maybe
you get.
they do. Yeah, but you're just going to see views of mountains, and most of the country is not on the shoreline. Obviously,
The cruise ships are taller than the buildings.
you're
in
looking over at
Alaska.
Russia. I don't know. Well, your friends though, when they go, will be able to report back to you and tell you how much fun they had.
I want them to. Well, they want me to visit, and I feel sorry for them because I don't know. I'm gonna be real busy this year.
You feel sorry for your friends because they won't see you. I know.
Yeah.
That's a reason for you to feel sorry for them.
Like downtown Juneau.
That you won't be able to grace them with your presence. Is that the implication there?
Yeah. They need my company. They're gonna be real lonely apart from the U.S. But there's just a house right here, like a house around a circle in their downtown Juneau, coming off a bridge. I just can't believe it.
Okay.
It's not a downtown.
Well, I guess it depends on what constitutes a downtown, because there's a lot of resort towns, and their downtown is like a little quaint strip of stores and things. Like little beach towns and things. Their downtown, or their central commerce district, is their downtown. It's just not,
It's not the same thing.
There's no skyscrapers in Elk River, Michigan, but there's a little downtown.
Yes, but we're not talking about the capital. Like, if you got a driveway, if you have a personal driveway for your house in downtown, your downtown ain't a real downtown. You got a driveway. You could just pull up and no one parks in your driveway. It's not city property. You got a driveway. And you could close your little fence gate. That ain't a downtown.
Alan, Santa Fe is a capital with no skyscrapers. All right, well, there you go. We have any bureau chiefs in Santa Fe? No.
Where's that the capital of Poundcake?
Santa Fe is not the capital. Albuquerque is the capital of New Mexico. Am I incorrect?
I don't know.
You tell me.
I'd trust you, actually.
I thought Albuquerque was, but it's New Mexico.
Santa Fe?
I'm sorry, Santa Fe is not only the capital of New Mexico, it is the oldest capital city in the United States.
Double whammy there.
Fine.
He goes, that was his response to that.
Maybe that's their allure, is that, we don't have skyscrapers because we like the old-timey, the Western.
Yeah, you can't build real tall buildings out of adobe.
I feel like
really, really hard. They'll fall over. They'll harden at the wrong time.
Fine.
capital of, what's Missouri's capital?
Jefferson?
Is that what it is?
I don't know. Santa Fe, New Mexico, the
Jefferson
Roundhouse.
City. That's another city that doesn't have a lot. I feel like it doesn't have a lot of skyscrapers. I think West Virginia's capital is the same way.
I've been through Charleston, West Virginia, and it does have skyscrapers in the middle of the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to see over those mountains.
And they ain't even got they barely got 1 million people in their whole state, and they got skyscrapers.
He loves a skyscraper.
He really
wants
does.
that sky getting scraped
Right.
up.
I feel like it's the perfect.
My
He wants
scraper
it. He wants a
sky.
DNC on that sky, boy.
It embodies your city. It gives your city pride. Like this is our metropolis. This is what we built from the rubble, from the ground up. Like
the rubble.
But I don't know the rubble of what.
I don't know.
Were these cities bombed? And it's not Dresden, and
Well, there were probably wars fought in Cleveland.
the War of Cleveland. They fought over Toledo. That's how lame this area of the country is.
It was over property.
Yeah.
And Toledo has skyscrapers now.
Right.
It definitely looks like they've been scraped, but they have skyscrapers.
All right. Well,
But there's plenty of, most states' biggest city isn't their capital city, though.
yeah, like Albuquerque is not the capital of New Mexico.
New York is not the capital of New York.
Right.
But they did that on purpose, though, because then New York would have too much power.
Too much power. Boy, he's got some thoughts on urban planning,
Mm-hmm.
Because there was
on architecture, on all kinds of things.
Well, just as far as New York goes, there was no need to have the capital in New York because there's barely room as it is. They don't want the capital in New York.
But why not?
Because there just ain't no room. There's no need.
There's no need. But it's a center of commerce.
But it's not the center of the state. They want something right there in the middle.
Albany.
They
were like, hey, let's give Albany a rub.
No one cares about Albany other than the fact that it's a capital. Who just goes to Albany just to visit? No one.
Huh. All right. So to you, the big cities should not be capitals.
I didn't say that. I said
No,
New
he
York.
wants.
New York shouldn't have been a capital.
He doesn't care if it's a big city or not. He just wants there to be a skyscraper.
There has
Skyscrapers.
to be skyscrapers.
Okay.
Now, the only time I give a pass is for Washington, D.C. I understand why they don't have skyscrapers. They don't want anything,
They don't want a bullseye in the.
Exactly. I can understand that. But other than that, if you're a big city, show your pride and build a skyscraper. It could be a condominium.
Condominium.
Condominium. It could be a bank. I didn't specify what it had to be.
All
But
right.
do something. Show you got a little cash.
I mean, I think the biggest city in the country that's a capital is Phoenix. And they have some tall buildings.
Yeah, I've been to Phoenix.
Sure. They got some tall buildings, right?
Why are they the biggest capital? Just by mileage or just
No, they're the most populated city in the country that is a capital. Like Springfield, Illinois.
Not Austin?
No,
Wow.
Phoenix is bigger than Austin.
Okay.
I mean, Austin's probably top 5, but Phoenix, I think, is the biggest because Phoenix is blowing up.
Austin's
Has
blowing
been
up
for
too,
a while,
though.
yeah. Right, but like Phoenix is a couple million people. The size of Austin is still under 1 million, I think. It's like Columbus. Everybody goes, Columbus is bigger than Cleveland. No, it's not. It's just that the way that they do the census, Columbus had the good sense to annex their suburbs into Columbus proper. They couldn't get their heads around that here in Northeast Ohio. They go, no, the suburbs all have to be separate. So the city of Cleveland is like the Grand Rapids, Michigan. Columbus, all the suburbs and the metro are considered Columbus, which is good for development. It's good for revenue. They couldn't figure that out here in Cleveland. They're like, no, the suburbs all have to be separate. They all want to do their own thing. Columbus is like, Let's get it together.
Even Harrisburg has some skyscrapers.
Harrisburg, PA?
Yeah.
Why are you, explain to me again why you're fixated on
The skyscrapers.
because they built from the rubble? I mean.
Yes, it just shows pride for your city. I feel like if you're
Well, it shows,
a city.
it shows investment capital in building a building.
You need a skyline. If you want to be a nice big city, you need a skyline. As far as I'm concerned. If a big city comes with two things, skylines and bridges. If you don't have...
What about Skyline Chili?
No comment, because I've never had it. I've never had it, so I don't know.
Right.
But like, if you've had all these big buildings and no bridges, you would be like, this city needs a bridge, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you say that? You would say, wow, all these big buildings, and I can't get anywhere. We need bridges. But if you had a bunch of bridges and no skyscrapers, what's the point?
Alan, Charleston, West Virginia has nothing taller than 5 stories. And that is not a skyscraper. Well, I think
It's a bunch of islands.
I think a skyscraper is, I think it's determined by the number of feet it is. I don't know if it's a number of stories. But if they have nothing taller than 5 stories, then correct. That's like the building we were in Oak Tree. This building here would be a skyscraper in Charleston, West Virginia.
I spoke too soon. At first I thought he was talking about Charleston, South Carolina. I was like, that's not the capital of South Carolina. But he was talking
I'll ask you a question. Is the capital of Kentucky, is it pronounced Louisville, Louisville, or Louisville?
Louisville.
Nope, it's pronounced Frankfurt.
Got him.
Trick question, sucker! How do you like that?
I think I was probably still wrong anyways. It's still Louisville, right? But they call it Louisville because they have the accent, right?
That's how I've heard it pronounced. I always say Louisville because that's how I've heard it pronounced.
Yeah, I always get that confused. Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, and Frankfurt.
What do they
nobody
call?
ever talks about Frankfurt.
What do they call
No one.
people from Frankfurt?
Freudians.
Ferdians. I was going for Frankfurters for the easy, dumb joke. He went with Ferdians.
Ferdians.
He found the one way to circumvent that dumb pun. God bless you.
He's just got a way. He's got a way of just being able to.
Alan, there are a lot of cities around the world where they will throw you off skyscrapers for being gay. Poundcake should consider this when he's doing his international travel.
Okay. Yeah. I'm proud to be an American. They're not going to throw me off a balcony for being gay. Just for being black.
But in another country, they would throw you off for being gay.
Okay, well, I was going to say I keep my nose to the grindstone, but no, I don't want to do that either. I keep a low profile when
You don't keep a low profile anywhere.
Yes,
what are you talking about?
I go to
you be the guy, look at these buildings, look at these skyscrapers. You be like that girl walking around twirling a parasol looking at the big giant buildings.
I go to very touristy Toronto. I'm not going to have any problems being gay. Mexico, I was outside Cancun. I'm going to have no problems being gay. Ricky Martin owned a house on the island. Now Jamaica, I went a little too far there, but I was young. So I've learned from that experience. But I'm not.
Ricky Martin has entered the chat somehow.
Ricky Martin owns a house on Isla Mujeres.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's all.
Did you guys pull up to his house just to peer in over the gate?
Yeah,
Do you have a big RM
no,
on his gate?
we floated
Like Disneyland?
We floated past it on the catamaran. And he was like, the tour guy was like, Ricky Martin, you guys love Ricky Martin? I was like, I love Ricky Martin. Well,
What was that accent?
Ricky Martin, you guys love Ricky Martin?
You got Ricky Martin. All right. You nailed it.
Yeah, I understand what gays are, the feeling of gays around the world. I never said that. I just want to admire their beauty. London has skyscrapers.
Yeah, they got Big Ben. They have a giant clock.
Cape Town, South Africa has skyscrapers.
Yeah.
What about Tokyo? They have some of the best skylines in the world.
Go to Tokyo then. Holy cow. Except everybody's stacked on top of each other. My ex-wife lived in Tokyo for quite a while.
Like, don't you want...
Stacked on top of each other. It's like friggin' Blade Runner.
Don't you want do you know how much pride you feel for your city? I know you do, Alan, because Chicago's photographed all the time.
But not because of the skyscrapers.
Yes, it is.
People who live there never go downtown.
But
I couldn't tell you the few times I actually went downtown to do anything.
I'm just saying, it's all on calendars, and every time you don't
Yes,
touch your computer for a while, it
that's
pops
for
up.
the tourists. Just like deep dish pizza is for tourists. Chicagoans are eating thin, tavern-cut pizza, which, by the way, I just got the email that Lou Malnati's is shipping them now.
Nice.
I don't have to settle for deep dish and get the tavern cut shipped. No, that's for skylines are great. But again, you're not a photographer putting a calendar together. What do you care what the skyline looks like?
I don't know. It makes
You're going to go in all the tall buildings?
I got to go see what was it? The Terminal Tower, our sky deck. I saw that. That was pretty cool.
They have a sky deck up there?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I had to take 2 elevators to get there.
All right.
It was like,
But you had fun.
yeah, we had a Groupon, and we went one
Oh,
day.
group. See, that's what I'm saying. They got to offer Groupons to get people up there.
It was pretty
Oh.
cool, though.
Hey, want to feel like you're 100 feet off the ground?
No, it was pretty hot.
We'll give it to you for $5.
Dude, you get like so lightheaded, like looking over, because you see the whole, it was the time around like Christmas time where everyone was skating. And so we're like looking down, I was like, oh my goodness.
Terminal Tower was the tallest building in the country outside of New York until like 50 years ago.
That's a long time, though.
Yeah. Well, anyway. I can't believe I don't know how the hell we got on that, but he likes his sky scraped.
Alaska needs
Clean.
to step up their game.
Alaska because of the polar bear attack. That's what it was. Our bureau. I can't wait to hear from our bureau chiefs in Alaska weighing in on Poundcake's thoughts on the state of their scraped sky. I'm going to have, I'll have Pussifer tickets for you. Maynard Keenan and his band of merry men and women are doing Sonic Temple end of May. But after that, they're going to come up here and they're going to do MGM Northfield Park. That is Monday, May 29th. So if you're a Pussifer fan, I'll throw a couple of tickets at you coming back. And then 4:30, next chance for you to grab $1,000 and go fund yourself. So be listening for that. If you want to text for anything, 35192.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free